The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community channel that sees all things new. My name is Jennifer Nuya, live streaming from Cavite, Philippines. And you're watching Stories from the Fringe. For those who are tuning in for the first time, Stories from the Fringe aims to push for more diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in all aspects of our lives. We are committed to creating a world where individual differences like gender, class, ability, among others, are not only seen and understood, but also celebrated. We believe that we can all be a part of this collective vision. In order to make the most of our time together, we encourage you to turn off all distractions, prepare to take notes, mental win, and just be fully engaged with our guest today, Andres Jimenez. I'm happy to welcome to the show Andres Jimenez. Andres is the founder of Time Equals True Wealth, where he empowers people who work for money learn how to make money work for them so that they can work for purpose. So he is passionate in teaching people the values of the currencies we all have and the appropriate order of the value. Welcome to the show, Andres.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Hello, Andres. Thank you for making time to be on the show. Can you please share with us your journey, your background about, and also about time equals true wealth?
Absolutely. Well, this all started about 3 years ago, my journey. I used to be an employee in corporate America where I was a full commission outside sales associate, where I earned a very good income, enough to provide for my family and have money left over every month. The problem with that was that in order for me to earn that income, I was working an average of 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, where vacations were not vacation. Vacation um, was never vacation. I was always on the job. I was always carrying my laptop. I was, always on the phone. And my wife would say to me, "Hey, aren't we on vacation?" I said, "Yes, baby, we're on vacation, but this is what puts food on our table. This is what
Mm,
pays for the trips. This is what pays for everything. And if I don't take care of my customers, the competition will."
mm,
Oh, one night I realized that I was trading my life away, and obviously that's not a good trade. You know, life is way more valuable than money, and I was trading life for money. So I decided to learn how to make money work for me. And what I found out during that process was that not only is time way more valuable than money, and I always knew that. I always knew that time was more valuable than money, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand the value, the concept. And the biggest lesson that I like teaching is we all have currencies, and
Mm-hmm.
we all have four currencies. And those four currencies are time, knowledge, relationships, and lastly is money.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like asking, you know, what is more valuable, time or money? And everybody says time. Well,
Mm-hmm.
what's more valuable, knowledge or money? And knowledge is also way more valuable than money. And relationships is way more valuable than money. The least valuable currency is money.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's the currency that 95% of the world's population is chasing. And that's what I was chasing. I was chasing money. I was working 14-hour days chasing money. And I realized that in order for me to achieve what I want to achieve, I need to devote time to that goal. And I would have never achieved that goal working for money. See, the biggest lesson that I learned during this process is the value of those four currencies. I never saw knowledge as a currency, I never saw relationships as a currency. We all know the currency of time and the currency of money. But here's what I really, really love sharing is that we can buy anything we want. And
Mm-hmm.
that might sound like fantasy, but I want to prove to everybody that you can. And I want to destroy the lie that we can't. Because the
Mm-hmm.
truth is that we buy everything with time. We buy money with time, right? In order for us to earn a living, we need to exchange time for money. And whatever we do, whatever business we have, we devote time to that business to earn money. So we buy money with time. We buy absolutely everything with time. I I buy health with time. In order for me to uh, have health, I need to devote time to health. In order for me to have healthy relationships, a healthy family relationship, I need to devote time to family. I was not devoting time to family, I was devoting time to money, because that's what we're taught to go, provide. And yes, it's extremely important to provide. We have to provide. I mean, that's, but there's a better way to provide. And the better way to provide is to work for purpose, not for money. Money's meant to work for us,
Mm-hmm.
not us for money. So the whole formula is backwards in the world. Most people, they exchange the most valuable currency, as we just saw, is time, for the least valuable currency, which is money. So how can we get ahead if we are making a negative investment?
Mm-hmm.
Warren Buffett says the rich invest in time, the poor invest in money, because money is less valuable than time. But everybody is chasing money. What we need to focus on is improving, how we use time, maximizing time, increasing our knowledge and our skills so we can increase the value that we put on the time. Because see, everybody thinks that we get paid for the time that we put in a task, but that's not true. We get paid for the value that we bring to that task. So the more value I provide, well, the more I can earn, because we earn money because we provide a service. Everyone earns money because they provide a service, whether they're an employee or whether they're a business owner. Employees provide the service of their time and their skills on the job. Business owners provide the services of their goods or the products or their um, ideas. So we all provide a service. So everybody earns money because they provide a service. Now, what determines the earning is the value that we provide in the service. And there's nothing more valuable than unique. Every single one of us, has a purpose to fulfill, and that purpose is unique to every single one of us. So there's nothing more valuable than unique. So our true value is in the gift that is, planted inside of us, that seed that every single one of us has. You know, there's there's a command. We were commanded to
Mhm.
be fruitful and multiply. So that means that the seed is already inside of us, because how can I produce fruit if there's no seed?
Mhm.
So the seed is already there. So I love sharing the message with people that you can literally buy anything you want, because every every thought that goes through here is consuming time,
Mhm.
and that will determine how I spend the rest of the time that I have. So the most important thing that I can buy is the quality of my thoughts. What thoughts am I buying? That's the most important purchase. The thoughts that we purchase. What are we buying? Are we buying thoughts of faith, or are we buying thoughts of doubt? Are we buying thoughts of purpose, worthiness? That's
Mhm.
that's an investment of the most valuable resource that was given to us. If I entertain a thought of doubt for too long, then I am wasting life. So again, the true coin is time. Absolutely everything is bought with time. Now, what we choose to buy, that's where the big question lies. So it's not that if we can buy or not. It's, will we pay the price?
Mhm.
Will we pay the price? Because we have the capital. We have the capital to buy it.
Mhm.
But will we pay the price? Most people in the world simply do not choose to pay the price. They choose to sit on the couch when they get home from work, and they don't work on their dream. And I realized that, me working 14-hour days, I had no time to work on the dream, because, you know, 24 hours is what we're told that we have. Yes, there's 24 hours in a day, but that doesn't mean that we have 24 hours. We only have the amount of hours that we're awake.
Mhm.
So we're awake if we sleep 8 hours or 6 hours, or whatever the case might be for an individual. If an individual sleeps 8 hours, then they only have 16 waking hours. So it's extremely imperative that we learn how to make money work for us, so that way money's working during those 8 hours that we sleep. Right? So, like, Warren Buffett says, if you don't make money while you're sleeping, you're always gonna be working for money. And well, I like saying, right, if you want to be free, you got to give that money a job, a job.
Mhm.
Right? If you want to be free, you got to give money a job. And the truth of the matter is that, you know we're either working for money, or we're working for purpose.
Mhm.
We cannot work for both. So if I work for money, well, the words say it all. I'm working for money. That means that money is the master. And we're not meant to work for money. We're meant to work for a purpose. And that's where our true value lies. Now, so i- as I mentioned, in order for us to, make the most of time, right, we need to increase value. And that brings us to knowledge. That's our second currency. So, and knowledge is not just reading books, right?
Mhm.
Knowledge is, you know, learning how to better communicate. So joining, for example, speaking clubs that help you develop communication skills, because that's knowledge. Knowledge is really skills, right? And then when we apply knowledge, that's wisdom. So wisdom is applied knowledge. So we gotta acquire knowledge so we can increase the value to ourselves. So be fruitful. The word says it all. Be fruitful. We need to be fruitful, be productive, right? So, but in order for me to be productive, I first need to be a bigger me. So I need to focus on my knowledge. So develop communication skills, sales skills, persuasion skills, um, and develop a skill that's gonna serve you towards your particular gift, right? Because the value again is in our gift. So discover that gift, and then develop that gift. So seek the knowledge that is associated with your gift, and 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 just start absorbing knowledge in that particular subject, whatever the area might be. So knowledge is our second most valuable resource. In all you're getting, get understanding. Knowledge is, wisdom is greater than silver and fine gold, right? So that says it right there. Knowledge is more valuable than gold, right? So knowledge is more valuable than money. So, if someone decides to, you know once they finish their their basic education, up to the age of 17, 18 years old, and they decide not to go to university, well, the chances of that individual getting a good paying work is going to be very slim. They're going to get a minimum point paying job because they have no value to offer the marketplace. So in
Mm-hmm.
order for us to earn more, we need to be more valuable. We need to increase our value. And the way we increase our value is by increasing our knowledge capital. But we have the capital of time to buy knowledge, right? So, um, again, we can buy anything we want because we decide on how we spend time. So, for example, I can choose to read a book, right? I could spend an hour reading a book, or I could spend an hour of scrolling through TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1 hour reading a book is going to increase my knowledge capital, which I can then apply in its wisdom. But if I spend 1 hour scrolling through TikTok, or watching TV, then I am wasting life. Now, there's nothing wrong with entertainment. Entertainment is an important part of life, but it shouldn't be a huge consumption of life. And here, I'm in the United States. Here in the United States, the average American watches 7 hours of television daily.
Wow,
Yeah,
really? 7 daily?
daily. So if 7 hours of your capital is being wasted, then you're not going to get ahead. So 95% of the world, like I said, exchanges money. I mean, I'm sorry, exchanges time for money. And it's backwards. We're supposed to uh, exchange money for time. See, like I just mentioned, we buy money with time, but we can also buy time. And when I say that to people, they're like, no, you can't buy time. I says, yes, you can. You cannot buy back yesterday, but you can buy, an hour from now. You can hire someone. If you're gonna, for example, if you're gonna go wash your car and you don't enjoy washing your car, and you just simply gonna go wash your car because you want to save money, then you're misspending the resource, right? See, and I got this from a story that I heard, and I love sharing this story. By the way, there's this guy named Eric Worre. He's a
Mm-hmm.
very successful network marketer, and if I'm not mistaken, he started his network marketing business in 1988. And in 1988, he had just started network marketing, so he hadn't achieved any success yet, financial success, and he had the fortune of being mentored by a billionaire. And this billionaire traveling all over the world, very involved in the community, charitable organizations. And Eric Worre approached them and he asked them, how did you achieve your financial success? And how did you manage time? Because I'm very stressed, I'm frantic. How did you do this? And the billionaire told Eric, how much money do you want to earn? Eric, there's no limit to the amount of money that you can earn. And when Eric Worre heard that, he said, wow, it shifted my mind. And it shifted my mind too when I saw that video, because I never thought of money being unlimited. But the truth of the matter is that it is unlimited, but our time is limited. So the billionaire, asked Eric, so how much money do you want to earn this year? And Eric was Remember, he had just started network marketing, so he hadn't achieved any financial success. And he said to him, "I like to make $1 million this year." And the billionaire replied quickly. He says, "Okay, if you want to earn $1 million this year, you need to be earning around $500 an hour. Is there any activity that you can do that pays you $500 an hour?" And Eric Worre says, "As a matter of fact, I do. The commissions that they pay me in network marketing are way more. I happen to have that activity." "Okay, let me ask you this, Eric. And do you cut your grass? Do you mow the lawn?" He says, "Yeah, I cut the grass. What's wrong with that? I cut the grass myself." He says, "How much can someone charge you to cut the grass?" And this is 1988. And he says, "I don't know, maybe about $15 per hour." And then
Mm.
billionaire says to him, "So you mean to tell me that in order for you to save $15, you're missing out on producing $485?" And he's like, "Wow, I thought I was saving money." But see, that's the mentality of most people, because we're brought up to save money. We're not brought up to save time. We're brought up to save money, save money, save money, save money. No, what we should be teaching our kids is to save time, to make the most of time, right? We're not meant to work for money. We're meant to work for purpose. So Eric Worre changed his philosophy back then in 1988. When he heard that from the billionaire, he started implementing that strategy. And it's not a strategy, it's just simple math, really, right? I mean, you're missing out on producing $485 to save $15. That's a loss. You're losing $485. So in 1988, when he started this, he started taking that to heart. And he started paying someone to cut his grass. He started paying someone to go do the grocery shopping for him. He started paying someone to put gasoline in his car. He paid someone to put gasoline in his car so he can focus that time on his network marketing business. Now, you know, again, most people would rather save the money than save the time. But if you analyze what just happened here, Eric Worre started trading money for time. He started paying $15 for an hour. And that hour became that hour is way more valuable than $15. See, there's no limit to the amount of money that can be made. We decide how. Remember, money is bought with time, so we determine the amount of money that we want to buy with the use of time. But we cannot buy everything. Let me be perfectly clear. We cannot buy everything, but we can buy anything. And that anything is your purpose. So whatever that seed is of purpose that we all have, we can buy it at the price of time, right? If you look at the world, everything that's in the world, right? We have gold, silver, petroleum, minerals. There's abundance of resources that God gave us. So we live in a world of abundance. It's so real money, right? Real money, and that's real money, by the way. See, a dollar is fake. Real money is what was already here on earth when we got here. Gold, silver, salt, minerals, petroleum, all of that is real money. Land, that's real money. The dollar is fake. And fiat currency is fake because it loses value and loses value, loses value, loses value. But on the other hand, for example, you take gold, for example, gold has maintained its value for centuries, for millennia. It's maintained its currency value. It's maintained its.
Mhm.
Let me correct myself. It's maintained its purchasing power.
Yeah, I read that dollar, okay, the fiat currency has lost its value over time because it has left the gold standard. So there's no gold backing it now. That's why it's just paper. And now that we are moving into digital world, and sometimes we don't need dollar or any paper currency anymore. Those are just numbers transferring from one ledger to another, from your bank account to the merchant's bank account. So you don't just numbers, moving numbers from one place to another. So there's really nothing there. So that's a good thing that you emphasize, Andres.
And you're absolutely correct. You know, it's just numbers. When um, when money is deposited into the bank, um, I'm pretty sure it happens in your country as well. But here, there's it's called fractional reserve lending, right?
Yes.
And so what happens is, as soon as someone deposits $1, the bank holds 10% of it as reserve. So they hold 10
Mhm.
cents for that dollar, and then they lend out 90 cents. But those 90 cents got input into the system right away as numbers. So people are not really working for paper. They're really working for numbers,
Yeah.
right? In and it's kind of it's a trap, in because we're it's a trap because the people are working for money, right? And what happens is, um, as the dollar depreciates, right, it loses purchasing power. As the government start printing money, well, there's
Mm-hmm.
more money that gets printed. That means that each dollar loses value, right? When supply and demand, right? The more there is of something, the less value it has, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the more money is printed, the less value that dollar has. So the dollar, here in the United States, has lost 95% purchasing power
Mm-hmm.
since the Federal Reserve was um, a instated in the, I believe it was 1918, if I'm not mistaken. So when the Federal Reserve began, and it's a here in the United States, a lot of people think that the Federal Reserve, has something to do with the government because it has the word
No.
federal, right? But the Federal Reserve is a private entity, and
Yes.
they're the ones that control everything, because they're the ones that control the paper
The
that gets printed.
printing. Yeah.
They control the rate of inflation,
Mm-hmm.
right? They control the tax, the interest rates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as they print out more dollars, that dollar loses value, right? So what winds up happening to most people, right? Most people have a certain lifestyle, right? And so if the price of everything goes up, then in order for them to keep up with that lifestyle, they have to work more hours, because they
Mm-hmm.
get paid by the hour, right? They're working for money, so they have to work more, right? So working more means more taxes they got to pay, because their
Mm-hmm.
income went up. Yes, their income went up, but their purchasing power went down. And
Yeah.
so if their income goes up, that's more taxes they got to pay. So not only
Yeah.
do they lose purchasing power, but they're also losing money on taxes.
And more so, it's unfortunate that some countries are becoming more socialist or more into interventionist. My friend and I, we were just chatting a week ago, and then he was lamenting the fact that his country has opened its borders to refugees. While we don't have anything against refugees, however, some illegals, they come into the country and then they siphon off the resources. And people have to remember that what you get for free is not really free, right? It has to come from somewhere. So those free healthcare, free food, free housing that um, the illegal aliens enjoy, they come from honest taxpayers. All right. However, the problem is the illegal aliens. they have this mindset that, oh, the government is taking care of us. No, the government is not taking care of you. The taxpayers are taking care of you. So that is, for you to have all these things that you enjoy, someone has to make do with smaller for their families. So in that country, my friend said that his tax bracket is already at 50%. So imagine if he's earning $1, then the 50% of that already goes to the welfare system. And he has a family to take care of, right? So that's sad. I mean, I don't have anything against the refugees, because I feel for them. I feel for them because some of them, they come from war-torn countries. Some of them, they come from um, dictatorship, and they're trying to just, how do you say that, they're just trying to give also their families a better future in another country, right? But you
Absolutely.
cannot siphon off resources indefinitely. You have to also learn how to take care of yourself. Learn, as you just have been saying, you have to learn the necessary knowledge and skills to hold on a job. I think America, US, is in the going towards, the decline of Roman civilization. I read it that the Roman civilization, it became one of the powerhouses in the olden days. However, because they have the biggest welfare system, that started their decline. So welfare system is not sustainable. You have to teach these people how to fish, not only give them fish.
Absolutely. Very well said. Um, that's exactly what's going on. They're giving people fish. They're not teaching people to fish. They're not teaching people to um, learn, how to uh, earn money. See, but I believe that it's by design,
Oh,
eh, right? And the reason I say that is because, yeah, the borrower is servant to the lender.
yes, I read that in the Bible. Yes.
Okay, so if the borrower is servant to the lender, and the world's big banks, they buy the government's national debt, then that means that the government is indebted to the banks. That means that the government is the servant. So the one who's really in charge is the bank, right? And now, I've asked many people from different countries. I've asked people from Venezuela, from Argentina, from Colombia, from Spain. Uh, do they teach about the monetary and banking system in your country? They're like, no. So it's not only here in the United States that they don't teach us about the banking and monetary system. Do they teach them
Mhm.
banking and monetary system in your country?
No, they don't. And I believe that it's about time. It's about time that they teach all these things to our children, and also how taxes work, right? And how to consider entrepreneurship as a viable career. However, here in the Philippines, because of past generations, they always tell us get good grades and get a good secure job in the corporate. But actually, we realize in the several few years that have passed by that no, there's really no secure job. The most secure job that you can get is the one that you give yourself, right? When you
Absolutely.
are the owner of your economy. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Andres, perhaps this is about time to get on a short break, and then when we come back, all right,
Okay.
I want we can emphasize other things that we can buy, real assets. Okay,
Okay.
real assets that we can buy. All right,
Absolutely.
so we'll go for a short break, and
Yes.
see you on the other side of the
All
commercial
right.
break.
Will do. Thank you.
The new channel is an online alternative new media platform for online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. Thank you for choosing to spend your Thursday mornings with us. Thank you for watching, supporting Stories from the Fringe, live streamed every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. You can watch us or on replay via Facebook or YouTube. Follow us on IG, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search hashtag TNC Now. For sponsorships, please email now at renewchannel.com or send us a DM. Enjoy these life changing shows because we made them just for you. So earlier we were chatting with Andres Jimenez from Miami, Florida, and he shared with us the four currencies that we all have. So in appropriate order, so we have time, knowledge, relationships, and money. Unfortunately, as we have discovered, more people chase money over time when it should be the other way around. And he also stressed the importance of finding our unique gifts so that we can work not for money but for purpose. So let's call again, Andres, so that we can learn more about how we can work for purpose. Hi, Andres. Welcome back on the show.
Thank you.
All right. So earlier we discussed that money is not the true asset. So if we have money or time, which assets do you feel we should be purchasing more of?
Um, God's God's assets, land,
Mm,
gold, silver, diamonds, right? Whatever God put here, that the value of that will never go down, right?
mm,
Gold, as we talked earlier, has maintained its purchasing power for millennia. You know, in the Roman times, with when an ounce of gold, someone could buy a very nice robe and a nice pair of sandals. That same 1 ounce of gold today can buy me a very nice suit and nice pair of shoes. So it's maintained its value.
mm,
Land has always been extremely valuable. If you really eh, if you look at the Bible, for example, the Bible is talks a lot about land, right? A matter of fact, the state of Israel, when Israel was formed and when it became the country of Israel in 1948,
mm,
there's an individual by the name of Ben Gurion who went
mm,
to the United Nations headquarters in New York City, and he showed them a Bible, and he showed them Exodus when Abraham had purchased the land and he never sold it. So be
mm,
so he didn't have a contract, but it was there written, and so they the state of Israel was formed. So land, real estate, right? That's land, real estate. So the one of the absolute best investments that one can make is in real estate, right? And it's something that it's a real hard asset that we can pass down to our children and our grandchildren. And as King Solomon said in a proverb, a good man leaves inheritance to his children's children. Well, I can't, leave a job as inheritance. So if I work for money, I have nothing to leave behind to my children, right? Unless, right, I start, buying assets during the time. But it becomes very hard to buy assets when you work for money. When you're an employee, it's very hard to buy assets because your time is being taken. So if you work 8 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
right, and here's the key thing, right? Most people, they have their job of here in the United States. Most people work 8 hours a day, 40 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and they come home and then they watch TV, and then they don't buy their dream. They just go back to work again, and so
Yeah.
they're not they're not working on their dream. It's hard for them to accumulate enough to buy an asset.
Mm.
But but then we talk about the second currency of knowledge, right? It goes back to the currency of knowledge, right? Investing the currency in time so I can acquire the knowledge, so I
Mhm.
can buy the assets that I need, so I could pass them down to my children's children. Now, real estate, um, is an asset that, here in the United States, has produced, you know 90 more than 90% of the millionaires have been made through real estate. And the
Mhm.
reason that is because of the enormous tax benefits that
Mhm.
exist in real estate, right? There's no other vehicle, there's no other asset class here in the US. I don't know how it might be in your country, but here in the United States, there's no better asset class than real estate for minimizing the amount of taxes that you pay, right?
Mhm.
So even if gold is a good asset to buy, but it doesn't give me tax benefits, right?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, gold is a good storage of value, right? So I can have gold and have that as a savings, right? To store. But if I want an asset that produces cash flow and I get the benefits of taxes, there's no better asset class than real estate. And and here, and I'm pretty sure in your country as well, a working for money is the most expensive way to live,
Mhm.
in time and in money,
Mhm.
right? Because you're giving up your most precious resource, right, for somebody else, right? Time that you will never get back, and you're giving it to somebody else instead of working on your dream, right? And then on top of that, you pay a lot of tax. Here in the
Mhm.
United States, employees pay way more taxes than business owners, right?
Yes.
So not only are we exchanging the most valuable resource, which is time, for the least valuable resource, but on top of that, I get highly taxed. And
Mhm.
that's where I go back to, it's kind of like by design, right? Because the more you make, the more income tax you have to pay when you're an employee, right? And so
Mhm.
so as inflation goes up, your purchasing power goes down, which means you got to work more, right? And working more means more income. More income means more taxes you pay.
Mhm.
So who's the benefactor of that? Not not the family, you know.
No.
So real estate, is, um, an asset class that, I don't know how in your country, but I'm pretty sure in your country it is as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's a hard asset, and then, and with
So
tremendous tax benefits.
so we have here, you mentioned gold, silver, diamond, real estate, right?
Hmm.
Now, I'm pretty sure that you are also seeing the increasing trend of us moving to the digital space and a lot of people pushing for purchase and creation of digital products. All right. So how does that figure into your this mental model of you should go for the real hard assets.
Yes, I want something that's tangible as an asset, right? Um, I I can hold gold, I can, touch land, right? I can feel a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Silver, salt, petroleum, right? All of these are assets. A Food is a tremendous asset as well, right? We all have to eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So natural resources, things that have always existed here on the planet, are way more valuable than something that is digital.
Mm-hmm.
So um I do see that obviously we are going in the direction where, the instead of trading a piece of paper for to go to buy stuff, we simply are going to use a our cell phone, and it's paper is now no longer going to exist. It's going to be numbers. It's going to be digital, but it's still
Mm-hmm.
fake. It's still
Mm-hmm.
fake. It's still not real money. Real money is what is here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's real money. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm going to invest, I'm going to invest in real assets.
Okay, so
Real-
that's big no for you. No NFTs or what they call the
No,
non-fungible tokens. No
no,
digital versions of
not
Converse shoes or
not
non
for
shoes.
me. Not for me. And I see a lot of people that are going there, you know, um, especially a lot, of the younger generation,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the world that they're living in, right? That's the world that we're living in now, right? It's a digital world, and so that's, what they've been growing up with, and it's their reality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel that the more we get away from realness, right? We're going more towards an artificial type of life,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's not a real life. I personally don't want anything to do with NFTs and crypto and Bitcoin and none of that stuff, because I I I want something that I can hold and I can
Mm-hmm.
physically touch, and
Mm-hmm.
so and besides, I don't get those tax benefits on any of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here in the United States, you could, and Donald Trump, for example, Donald Trump is, a very successful real estate, developer, real estate investor, very very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And he understands the tax laws, and that's where education comes. Right, we need to understand the tax laws.
Are you going to share where he buried his wife?
No, I'm not going to show that. But I will say this. Uh, I'm not, I'm not going to talk pro or negative about him. I'm just going to speak the facts, right?
Okay.
Facts, and the fact is that, um, he understands the tax game, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that, tax laws are just that, they're laws, which
Yeah.
means
You're
that
gonna.
any citizen can use them.
Yes.
But most people are not educated enough, and they pay more taxes than they have to, because they don't know how to, play within the rules of the game. Just
Mm-hmm.
like in a football match, right? You have to stay within the boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tax laws are laws, right? So we need to understand how to play the game within the boundaries, you know, doing things by the book, and
Mm-hmm.
how to legally, ethically, and morally pay less tax. Well, if I pay less tax, that means I get more money to keep for my family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'll give you an example of that. Here in the United States, the average family, in between husband and wife, earns around $80,000 a year, but that is before taxes get taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, um, On $80,000, the tax bracket roughly, more or less, is around 30%.
Wow.
Right. So, and the employee, I don't know how it is in your country, but here, when the employee gets the paycheck, the tax has already been taken out.
Yes, the
Right.
same.
So, correct. Right. So that means that the government got paid first.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So if the average family makes $80,000 a year, and let's say roughly it's more or less 30%, it's not an exact figure, but let's say 30%. 30% of $80,000 is 8 times 3 is 24. That's $24,000. $24,000 that goes to taxes.
Yes.
Now, 80 minus 24 is $56,000. So that means that the family has to live on
Mm-hmm.
$56,000. 56,000. Now, here in the US, it, last that I heard, it was like roughly 58% of the American population lives paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah. That's surprising. Even
right?
here in the Philippines.
So so if most of the 58% is most of the people, if most of the people are living paycheck to paycheck, that means that they spend the $58,000 on
Mm-hmm.
their mortgage, on their car payments, on their credit card payments, on all these other payments they're spending on the Netflix subscriptions, on the such and such subscription, on all this other stuff they're buying. They're spending $58,000. So they keep zero.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's more expensive to work for money than it is for money to work for you. Because if they keep zero, and the reason why they don't keep anything is because there's no tax deductions,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you're a business owner,
Yeah.
right, you have tax deductions, and particularly
Mm-hmm.
here, and this is why real estate, this is why I I, I share the message of people investing in real estate, because you get to keep more money for your family.
Yeah.
See, when you're in the business of real estate here in the United States, you
Mm-hmm.
have around 450 legal tax deductions.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you buy a property, well, that property's roof is going to deteriorate. You know, the house is going to deteriorate in general, and so therefore the government, incentivizes you, because when you provide housing, you're providing a function of the government.
Mm-hmm.
And because
Mm-hmm.
you're providing a function of the government gives you tax incentives. So they're tax laws. Tax laws are nothing more than tax incentives. So if you provide housing, if you provide food, if you provide energy, that's why Elon Musk doesn't pay taxes, because he provides energy. So when you provide all these things that the government otherwise would have to do, they say to you, okay, you know what? We're going to give you tax benefits because you're doing our function.
Mm-hmm.
So in real estate, you could take depreciation. So that since the house is going to deteriorate over time, the government allows you to legally a write off on a residential property is 27 and a half years, and commercial property 29 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you have a commercial, if you have a residential property, let's say, right? If you own, several homes as investment properties, for each home, for the actual home value, the structure, not the land, the structure itself, you get to depreciate 27 and a
Yeah.
half years. So the value of the house divided by 27 and a half years, that gives you how much taxes you can deduct from your income every year.
Mm-hmm.
So you can you can legally put money into your pocket every year,
Mm-hmm.
and because you took depreciation, it wiped out that gain and you pay zero tax.
Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why you can't blame Bill Gates. He's leveraging the tax incentives, and I've read that he is buying up large tracts of land in the US. If I'm not mistaken, he's already considered as one of the largest landowners in the US.
Yeah. It, Be, that's that's that is the true asset. That's land, real estate. There's
Mm-hmm.
this guy, I forget his name, um, but when fiber optic, before fiber optic came to be,
Mm-hmm.
he he envisioned them beforehand. He saw the technology upgrade. He saw where the technology was going, and he had a he was a visionary. He saw where
Mm-hmm.
technology was heading, and he
Mm-hmm.
started buying the on the opposite sides of the railroad tracks, that piece of land that's
Mm-hmm.
on the either side of the rails. He started buying that throughout the
Mm-hmm.
whole coast.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the fiber optic got developed, he started, you know along the path of the railway, started connecting America with fiber optic. you know
Wow.
so that piece of land, it was only 6 feet on each side,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but for miles and miles and miles and miles. So land,
Mm-hmm.
land, as I mentioned before, it's mentioned throughout the Bible, right? In the very first verse, right? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He created real estate. He created the physical world. He created the spiritual world and the physical world, right? He
Mm-hmm.
created real estate. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's mentioned throughout the whole Bible, land.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I don't know, but I I like I like to do what's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's solid advice. It's solid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at King Solomon. King Solomon was, um, if I've heard that if King Solomon's wealth was transferred to today's money, it'd be worth trillions. So
Mm-hmm.
he would
Mm-hmm.
be a trillionaire,
Mm-hmm.
not a billionaire. He would be a trillionaire. That's how wealthy wisdom brought him, because
Mm-hmm.
wisdom got him all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I tend to, a follow the advice that's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't steer. I mean, they say that, if you want to be successful, study success. Well,
Yes.
King Solomon was very successful, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'm gonna study him.
Yes.
You know.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all these gems that you have shared with us today, Andres. I'm sure that our audience, our viewers, also learned a lot as I did. So that they can continue following you, so that they can continue learning more about time equals true wealth. Where can they know more about you? Do you have any social media channels?
Yeah, I have two. I have two places where I have my time equals true wealth handle. It's Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
time equals true wealth, as well as in LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, my name is Andres Jimenez. You could search for me there, and you could search for the Andres Jimenez, or you could search for time equals true wealth. And my
Mhm,
website. Now, I will say that my website is more or less, it's geared for US, because
mhm,
the educational service. So I provide educational services. A,
mhm,
not me personally. I'm an independent contracted marketer for this phenomenal platform, and where I learned a lot about taxes, a lot about real estate investment strategies, a lot about banking strategies, and
mhm,
so the education is geared for the U.S. market, because it's the investment strategies are based on U.S. laws. But I will say this: my main passion is not real estate. Real estate is a vehicle that will
mhm,
free up the time for me to go out and. So remember, we're here to work for purpose, not for money. So real estate would allow me to have the money work for me, so I can go work for purpose. And my purpose is really waking people up,
Mm-hmm.
inspiring people. And so I love to speak, so in my Instagram page, you'll see a lot of inspirational posts. That's mainly what I post, because I want to let everybody know that they can buy anything they want because they have the capital. Where
Mm-hmm.
every single day we get 24 hours deposited into our bank account.
Yeah.
Now we decide what we want to buy with that time. I can, you know, I can buy an hour of reading a book, or I can buy an hour of watching TV. I could buy
Mm-hmm.
an hour of exercise, or I can buy an hour sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
You Um, the reason they it's kind of sad that time is money got coined as a phrase, because the intent, really, I believe in the if I'm not mistaken, the original phrase was said by Benjamin Franklin, who was a one of an early American patriot. And he was an inventor and a diplomat, and um, very very wise man.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe his intent was time is currency,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's because if I say time is money, that's not true. Because if I say time is money, that means that I'm saying time equals money, right? Because the word
Mm-hmm.
is means equals, right? Two plus two
Mm-hmm.
is four. Well,
Yes.
so time is not equals to money.
Mm-hmm.
Time is greater than money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think what he meant was that it is like if it was money,
Mm-hmm.
because we buy everything with it, right? So we decide what we want to buy. And again, we cannot buy everything, but we can buy anything,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely anything you want. But it all starts with the thoughts that we buy. What
Mm-hmm.
thoughts are we buying? Because the thoughts that we buy will influence how we spend time.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely will. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're investing in thoughts of faith and in purpose and in worthiness, um, you're gonna be focused on your goal. But if you entertain a thought of doubt for too long, then that's gonna get you low. And if you're low, you're not gonna take any action.
Mm-hmm.
So it will influence what you buy. So the thoughts that we buy is the most important purchase,
Mm-hmm.
because that will determine how we get to spend time.
Mm-hmm.
What are we buying? What are we buying with it? So we can buy anything we want. And that's the message that I love sharing, that we can buy anything we want. You discover your purpose, develop your purpose, and then deploy your purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to share this. You know, um, I I I enjoy so much awakening people.
Mm-hmm.
That I want to, because a lot of people say, "Oh, what do you mean you could do anything you want?" No, no, well, I'm proving it to you. I want to prove it to you, because currency that we use for everything is time. What are you gonna buy with it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's extremely important that we buy good thoughts, right? Purchase thoughts of worthiness, of purpose, of what it is that you're meant to do, because that's where our value is. It's in the gift. So invest time in discovering that gift. That's a
Mm-hmm.
great investment. So we can invest time, right? We can spend time, and we can waste time. There's nothing wrong with spending time, right? If you're gonna go on family vacation, well, that's spending time with the family. That's a good use of time. You're building memories. creating experiences. That's an excellent expenditure of time, right? So, an investment of time is you sacrificing watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
You sacrifice when they tell us in order for us to achieve our goal, we need to sacrifice. Well, when we sacrifice, we free up time. And that time that before was a waste, I am now investing in my goal. So I am now
Mm-hmm.
working on buying my goal. So what is it that we want to buy? What do you want to buy? That's what I like talking to people about. So um, here in the US, I love speaking to people about, you know, you know, get real estate assets, have money work for you. But worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
my message worldwide is to awaken people to the value of these four currencies that I just shared with you: time, knowledge, relationship, and money. They're all extremely valuable, but as you just saw, money is the least valuable, and that's the one that everybody chases. And the people that do, right, like Warren Buffett says, the rich invest in time, the poor invest in money,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't make sense to exchange something of greater value to receive something of lesser value. It
Mm-hmm.
does not. If you're going to invest, you're investing for a positive return. You want a return on investment. So if I'm investing greater value to receive something lesser value, I'm in a negative investment.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love sharing.
Mm-hmm. And I couldn't have wrapped up our conversation more beautifully. Thank you for summarizing it for us, Andres. It's wonderful having you on the show. Thank you so much again for sharing your background and sharing your experience with our viewers.
And thank you so much for having me on and giving me the time, to be here with you and sharing. It's a it was it's an investment of time, because
It is.
when we teach, we learn. So hopefully, this was something that awakened, even if it was one person that I got to awaken today. I feel great. And that's the goal. The goal is to awaken people and change lives, change the paradigm.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you once again, Andres. Dear viewers, thank you once again for choosing to spend your Thursday morning with us. Thank you for our loyal supporters. See you again next Thursday, January 19th, 10:30 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. And enjoy the rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. God bless everyone.